Portugal. How could I have missed this country on my previous trips to Europe? My flight required me to change airports in London from Gatwick to Stansted, so I took a train into Farringdon Station.
London Bridge. Change here for other national rail services.
It was 8:30 in the morning in London. It was a bright, crisp day, so I stopped to have a coffee and pastry. From Farringdon Station, I got on the tube for 3 stops and made my way to Liverpool Street Station and took a train from there to Stansted Airport for my flight to Lisbon. The capital of Portugal, Lisbon, is a blend of old and new. It's located on the banks of the Tagus River. It's also known as the City of 7 Hills. My Airbnb apartment was conveniently located adjacent to Bahia Alto. Pastries of all kinds are very popular in Portugal. A typical breakfast in Portugal is very light and usually consists of toast and coffee, or perhaps a ham and cheese sandwich. However, I chose to start my mornings with the classic pastel de nata.
Pastel de nata e café latte, por favor.
These pastiche de nata are puff pastry cups filled with custard.
Obrigado.
Pastries are most commonly eaten by the Portuguese around 11 a.m.
Green card? 1-day green card for Metro?
For the transport?
Yes. The 1-day...
24 hours, 6 euros and 95 cents.
For 1 day?
24 hours.
24 hours. Do I buy here?
Yes.
Trams have been in operation in Lisbon since 1873 and is comprised of 6 lines. The system has 63 trams in operation.
On the tram.
This vast waterfront square, also known as Terreiro do Passo, or the Palace's Square, is where the royal palace stood for over 2 centuries until 1755, when it was destroyed by the great earthquake and tsunami. The royal family moved to another residence in the district of Belém, and the new arcaded buildings acted as the port of entry to the city. Dom Joseph I, known as the Reformer, was King of Portugal from 1750 until his death in 1777. Among other activities, Joseph was devoted to hunting and the opera. Indeed, he assembled one of the greatest collections of operatic scores in Europe. This statue of him, wearing his emperor's mantle, measures 14 meters in height. In the distance, you can see the 25th of April Bridge. It is a suspension bridge connecting the city of Lisbon to the municipality of Almada on the left-south bank of the Tagus River. From 1966 up to 1974, the bridge was named Salazar Bridge after Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Salazar, who ordered its construction. After the Carnation Revolution, which overthrew the remnants of his regime, the bridge is renamed for April 25th, the date of the revolution. It is also commonly called the Tagus River Bridge. Comercio Square opens onto Rua Augusta through the Triumphal Arch. This is a lively pedestrian street with mosaic pavements, outdoor cafes, international shops, and the occasional street artist and musician. Giginha, or simply Gija, is a Portuguese liqueur made by infusing sour Gija berries in alcohol and adding sugar together with other ingredients, with cloves and or cinnamon sticks being the most common. Giginha is served in a shot glass made of chocolate.
And you have there are dois vezes, também são dois shots. It's a double shot.
Oh, very
okay?
nice.
Drink, don't eat, I'll take you another shot.
Okay. No problem.
Quando é o Santos Populares, a gente faz, pessoal,
Obrigado.
St. George's Castle lies high on one of Lisbon's hills. I chose to save my energy and take an Uber. Before touring the castle, I decided to stop for lunch at a restaurant in the vicinity. Pastéis de bacalhau, or cod fritters, made of salt cod, mashed potatoes, onions, eggs, parsley, with a hint of nutmeg. Here I have the option to have one filled with cheese.
Just one, please. With cheese.
The cheese is Serra de Estrela. Canned or tinned fish has been a part of Portugal's culinary heritage since 1853, when the national canning industry was born. For many years, canned fish suffered from a bad reputation in Lisbon, a city abundant in fresh seafood. But canning industry was one of the great engines of the Portuguese economy. Canned food was seen by locals as a not very noble product, but that's changing. Canned fish is part of a culinary renaissance sweeping Portugal. Restaurants across the city, led by a new generation of chefs, now include dishes made with canned fish on their menu. Types of canned fish that are available include eels, sea bream, croaker, shrimp, sea bass, snails, swordfish, smoked codfish, roe, mackerel, roasted codfish, tuna, octopus, smoked salmon, smoked mussels, and smoked trout.
My name is Carla, and I will be your guide, and I will do the tour here explaining you an introduction to the castle of São Jorge.
Like 8 times, and they don't fund.
This was not the heart of the center. It was not the economical part of the center. So after the first, they would rebuild the good when they make the window. There are many buildings.
St. George's Castle is a historic castle in Lisbon. Human occupation of the castle hill dates back to at least the 8th century BC, while the first fortifications built date back from the 1st century BC. The hill on which St. George's Castle stands has played an important part in the history of Lisbon, having served as the location of fortifications occupied successively by Phoenicians, Carthaginians, Romans, and Moors, before its conquest by the Portuguese in the 1147 siege of Lisbon. Since the 12th century, the castle has variously served as a royal palace, a military barracks, home of the Torre do Tombo National Archive, and now is a national museum and monument. Barria Alta is a popular Lisbon area. The Bohemian neighborhood is filled with visitors wandering the steep, narrow, and cobbled streets. Many of the centuries-old houses in the neighborhood are decorated with vivid street art. After sundown, particularly after 8 p.m. when most restaurants open, a diverse crowd fill the hip, quirky bars, while the evocative sound of fado music is heard from traditional restaurants.
Cheia de encanto e beleza, sempre formosa a sorrir, eu não vesti, sempre airosa, o branco véu da saudade, cobre o teu rosto, linda princesa, oi, oi, Senhor, esta Lisboa de outras eras, dos cruzados das esperas, e das toiradas, e aí, das festas, das seculares procissões.
Fish of the day, not on the menu.
I see.
Okay, depends what you like. If you want to shoot over there, take a look. Starters, main dishes, and sushi. Okay?
Great.
Take
All right.
a look in here and decide.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
So tell me again, what is this? This is a
shrimp family, the tiger prawn, more meat. This one here, lobster family, the scarlet prawn, more taste.
I think I'll have one of the tiger prawns and 2 scallops.
Let's see the weight, the price.
I visited this restaurant more than once due to the high quality of their Portuguese traditional food. The Brazilian caipirinhas were often a drink of my choice.
Thank you.
Getting this action.
It's a camera.
Very nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Enjoy your meal.
Thank you. When you arrive at a restaurant in Portugal, you may see the couvert, a term used to describe appetizers that are often placed on the table at the start of a meal. This includes bread or pão, butter and other spreads, olives, cured meats, and other possibilities.
Girl, I don't dance, I work. I don't play, I slay. I don't walk, I strut, and then fresh air. I don't work for free. That's not the G for me. So make it rain on me, and let you see. What you gonna let them see? My nails, hair, hips, heels, nails, hair, hips, heels, nails, hair, hips, heels, nails, hair, hips, heels.
Tiles, or azulejos, can be seen throughout Portugal. They can be traced back to as early as the 13th century, when Moors formed the Arab Andalusian civilization by taking over parts of Europe in what is now Spain and Portugal before settling in North Africa. The Moors brought with them many elements of their culture, including these intricately glazed ceramic stones. This tile shop in Lisbon deals with authentic, antique azuelos, some of which date back to the 17th century. Some are for sale for as much as $250. Many people today mistakenly believe that the name azulejo came from the Portuguese word azul, when in fact it came from Arabic words. Next door to the antique tile shop is a shop that specializes in making replicas. Very detailed.
Some.
And these are replicas of an original design that you copy?
This is like this one. I show you. This one.
Oh, that's an original? No, that's a replica too.
Yeah.
But you're making a series of those like that.
But it works like you looks and looks old.
Yeah. Beautiful.
But it's like this one.
I see. So they will all
Difference, yeah.
look like this when you're finished.
I'm going to oven burn the fuse with light glaze and 1,000 degrees.
Wow. So it's like a kill.
Yeah, to kill.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Obrigado. Portuguese pavement, known as calcada, is a traditional style of pavement used in many pedestrian areas. It consists of small flat pieces of stones arranged in a pattern or image like a mosaic. Paving as a craft is believed to have originated in Mesopotamia, where rocky materials were used in the inside and outside of constructions, being later brought to ancient Greece and ancient Rome. There are many ways of getting around in Lisbon, and one way is on scooters. There are several electric scooter companies in Lisbon. One, the California-based company called Lime, has several hundred electric scooters located throughout Lisbon. One needs to download the app and register. Look for nearby scooters. The app shows you how much battery each scooter has left. Walk over and unlock the scooter by scanning the QR code. Once the scooter is unlocked, you can get on it and go. They can be left anywhere, but a discount is provided if you leave them in a designated area. The Cathedral of St. Mary Major, often called Lisbon Cathedral, is the oldest church in the city. It was built in 1147, and the cathedral has survived many earthquakes and has been modified, renovated, and restored several times. It is nowadays a mix of different architectural styles. It has been classified as a national monument since 1910. The São Bento railway station in the city center of Porto is often described as one of the most beautiful train stations in the world. The nearly 22,000 azulejos covering the walls and ceilings are by George Colico, painter, caricaturist, and potter. The tiles depict some of the most relevant episodes of Portuguese history. The Porto Cathedral is a Roman Catholic church located in the historical center of the city. It is one of the city's oldest monuments and one of the most important local Romanesque monuments.
Sintra, it's like another part from Portugal because of the microclimate. We have the Atlantic Ocean right nearby, and the air from the Mediterranean. That's why the microclimate. You have the singer of the
Pena Palace stands on the top of a hill in the Sintra Mountains above the town of Sintra. It is a national monument and constitutes one of the major expressions of 19th century Romanticism in the world. In the 18th century, the monastery was severely damaged by lightning. However, it was the Great Lisbon earthquake of 1755, occurring shortly afterwards, that took the heaviest toll on the monastery, reducing it to ruins. Nonetheless, the chapel and its works of marble and alabaster escaped without significant damage. For many decades, the ruins remained untouched, but King Consort Ferdinand II decided to acquire the old monastery and all of the surrounding lands nearby, and a few other estates in the area. King Ferdinand then set out to transform the remains of the monastery into a palace that would serve as a summer residence for the Portuguese royal family. The palace quickly drew visitors and became one of Portugal's most visited monuments. Over time, the colors of the red and yellow facades faded, and for many years the palace was visually identified as being entirely gray. By the end of the 20th century, the palace was repainted and the original colors restored.
Це ж класно. Чудово. Ні, це треба сюди. Віть. Все, тут? А тут краще віть. Oh yeah, we gotta take a picture of this. That's at the end of the road. This is where we need to take our picture.
Cascais is the finest resort town of the Lisbon coastline. Within Cascais are grand mansions, fascinating museums, and attractive parks, while the surrounding coastline offers beautiful beaches. The town is very popular with tourists. I flew North Atlantic Airlines, a new airline both ways across the Atlantic. I was fortunate enough to have Ileana Romero, a friend of mine, as the senior flight attendant on my flight home. She bumped me up to priority seating.
The second meal is better. It's a pizza roll.
Well, better by whose standards?
Yeah, I know. It's like stromboli.
It's a light meal before we land, right? And what time do you serve that?
The second one is an hour before we land. These are old now.
So, are you prepared to serve all? I mean, you have what, 40 seats in
56 or
in premium class?
I think it's 56.
And you bring enough food to feed 50 people, or do you know in advance not to bring that much food?
That's a pretty question. Since we have not been booked full, if we're booked full, they'll board 56 meals for both services. But since we're not, they'll load exact amount of meals plus 10 in case for upgrades.
Oh.
So some people pay for upgrades. It's $250.
So in other words, if you had reservations for what, 8 people or 10 people or something like that in premium class?
Say 10, they'll give us 20.
Oh.
They'll give us an extra 10, just for in case anyone like we make an announcement in the back. If anybody would like to upgrade, we have space available.
How long have you worked as a flight attendant?
I've worked. This is my 4th airline.
This
is my 4th airline. Yeah, and the 3 before this are out of business. Well, I would say first was Continental, but they got absorbed by United, and then Tower Air went out of business at JFK, and then Norwegian Airlines.
I didn't realize that they had
dissolved
for that many different companies.
Yeah. So a total of 17 years.
So the reason you have the seniority here is because of your experience with other airlines.
Yeah.
Other companies.
Yes. Plus, I was called in to work in the first class. They selected certain people to start this airline. I got a phone call, personal phone call, asking me if I wanted to be in the first. It's called the proving class. So we had to prove to the authorities, because it's a brand new airline. We've only been flying since June 14th. So that's August 14th. And today's August 28th. No, 30th. So we've been flying for 2.5 months. We've been in business, yeah. North. And I got my senior cabin crew.
That's so cool. So what is all this stuff here?
These are called our carts, serving carts.
So you actually put these that go down the aisles.
Yep. They come out like that, and then we go back in, lock it. So they come and they put all the meals in the ovens, and then after takeoff, we just turn them on and heat them up. After the second service, I had to take out all the old meals. These are now first service, done. This is second service, new food. See, this is refrigerated. If you put your hand here, you can feel the refrigeration. This is the bar carts, yummies, beer, wine. Yeah. So we take the food out of the refrigeration, put it in the oven, heat it up.
It's an actual oven. It's not a microwave.
No, there's no microwaves. Actual oven. Here's the bread that I'll take out now.
Yeah, the bread is really good, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's always good from Scandinavia.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it comes from the source.
Yeah, exactly. They cater us. So now, because the service is over, I'll just put this bread away.
So is this a secret entrance to the upstairs?
Yeah, you can see it.
Oh, my God. I'm creeping up so you can see it.
Let me put the light on. You can just look up if you want to.
Can I take a step up?
Yeah, just take a step up and we can look. Cool, huh?
That's amazing. How come nobody's up here?
Well, the pilots are not taking breaks now. This is the pilots.
You mean the pilots take naps? Who runs the plane?
No, because when we have a long flight, we have 3 pilots. So they rotate. So 2 fly and 1 rests. And then I don't know how long. They rotate, then 1 comes down, the other takes a rest. Until they all had a rest. That's usually like, our flights are 8, 9 hours. It could be up to 13, 14 hours. So for 2 pilots to just sit there
for
14 hours.
Are there other places to rest?
Yeah, in the back we have 6.
So
it's bigger in the back.
You have 6 spaces?
Yeah. Yeah, all the way in the backpack.
So some of the flight attendants are resting?
Yeah, they're resting now.
And you're going to take your breaks there?
Yeah, in 30 minutes, 25 minutes I'll go up there. But I don't sleep, I watch Netflix.
Yeah, that's nice. So tell me what's unique about North Atlantic.
Well, what's unique about North Atlantic, which I love about this airline, is our company core values. So all of us we are inclusive. We keep everything together with information, and within the whole company, they take our feedback and the passengers' feedback, and also we have ownership. As crew, we take ownership, and also we are kind. We're all kind. That's what we're supposed to be, and that's what we are. So as a recruiter myself, I recruit kind people, and if they know our values, that's even better. They do the research online. And we fly the Dreamliner, which is a great aircraft.
And why is it so quiet on this plane?
This plane is so quiet because, well, we have Rolls-Royce engines. One thing. The plane is made of carbon fiber. It's not made of metal. So it flies higher and faster. It's fuel efficient. So I think that must have to do with it being more quiet. But it definitely is made, Boeing has made this aircraft, which is revolutionizing the airline industry. The lighting is different. It adjusts to the outside lighting. The water is purified by a purification system and the UV ray light. The air is also HEPA filters. And also the air that we're breathing is not just our air. It comes from the outside. It's a mixture of outside air and inside air. So we're not getting just recirculated air. It's just a beautiful aircraft. It's brand new.
Yeah, it is, and it's very comfortable, especially in premium.
Yeah, the premium cabin's very nice.
All right, so you call these jump seats?
Jump seats, yeah.
This is where you sit during takeoff.
I sit on this one. I have all the controls of the aircraft.
Is you the head honcho?
I'm the head. I'm the seat.
Cool.
I'm the purser.
Look at this, I'm sitting in a jump seat.
Yeah. That makes it
With Ileana, huh?